Hey, David here with DIY Mountain Bike. I work part-time in a bike shop and I get to work on all kinds of bikes. But to make this bike a true commuter, you gotta be able to use it every day. And that means having ways to carry my lunch, carry my coffee, ride at night, and stay dry when riding through those puddles. So let's dig into making this bike a true commuter by adding items from my parts bin, all on a budget. Let's get at it. To make it a little bit easier, I'm gonna take the wheel out. Just gives me some more room. Start by cleaning this thing down. It's kind of ugly. That's the wrong word, right? But it's perfectly priced. Stripped it off of one of those trash finds, and I am crossing my fingers that between my box of bolts and getting a fender that is a 26-inch, which this one is, I should be in good shape. So with the wheel out, this has got a threaded fork for a fender, and it is just barely fitting in there to the point I might be able to just bend it about that much. Let's get a bolt. I did dig into my bolts to find something that's going to work. This fork is really friendly for additions like this. It's got the eyelets on the dropout to make it nice and easy. Probably the biggest risk is that my bolts are too long and will interfere with the hub, which is probably going to happen just because that's how my luck is. Now I put everything on somewhat loose, knowing I'll come back later and probably have to make some adjustments. All right, fender is loosely on. Let's try a tire. Moment of truth. All right. Let's try our brakes. Ooh, nice. I think it's time to tighten some things up. Every morning my wife and I, we walk around. On trash day, we make it the objective to walk a little bit farther because you just never know what golden bike treasures can be found. All right, I like that. All right. Centered. Definitely some mud stopping power. Brakes are working. Let's move to the back. Got our rear fender. I'm hoping it's going to work. So we've got an attachment here. It's going to go down into this cross member. This guy here attaches here, and then our rods will attach in here. And to make this happen a little bit better, we'll be taking our wheel off. Quick little clean. This bike was nearly new in the trash. I don't get it, but fenders are going to come in handy for me. So we're going to end up something like that. I've always found that loose attaching here and then down below is the best way to start out. Oh boy, here we go. wrenches. Now already, I am super happy with how smooth this is going. Like I was saying before, like doing my final tightening once the tire is in. All right, that way I can adjust it. A couple attachments there. Way too smooth. This is going too easy, folks. After this, we got our rack. Yeah, bureau rack I'm gonna put on. Took it off my bike, another bike, and it just is one of the best value racks with all the attachments it comes with. Or I shouldn't say that. I should say all of the accessories you can add on. Pannier bags, you name it, and you can do it with this. The Ibera, it's got like all the high-end features, but at a budget cost. Double check our brake clearance. Alright, let's tighten stuff up some more. It's spring at the bike shop I work at, and I just got back from vacation, and I know we are packed with bikes. We were nearly 3 weeks out on service. Just so many bikes. People getting excited about riding. I've been struggling with picking which bottle holder to put on. I've got this old, this is a classic Cannondale. It's Velcro, right? I could stick that on like that. I remember seeing this as a kid. So cool. Completely not effective. This Velcro just gets loaded up with mud and dirt. Or I can use my thermos and use this holder, take my coffee to work. So we're going to probably go with this guy so I can drink some coffee. Let's keep going with the rack because I do need something. I do need something to hold my lunch. I should be doing this with the bike level, so I'm sure this rack isn't going to be level. Let me get you closer. So I can mount this on the inside, like so, both of them. And I'll be clear of my brakes, but it's going to be near impossible to tighten that up with my wrench. But then if I move it to the outside, like so, I'm going to be hitting my brake cable. I have to do the impossible wrenching. Alright. So it's coming along nice. Alright, next up is our coffee holder, water bottle holder. Yep, right there. Why can they standardize water bottle holders, hole positions, but anything else on a bike seems to be specialty? I'm trying to stay out of the view. Oh my gosh. It's like I've never put a bolt in before. There we go. Thermos, check. I like it. Almost matches colors. What do we got last? We got our lights. Let's get at it. Alright, for lights, I got this generic tail light. Little button on the bottom, it's got a light there. No flashing mode. I do like flashing. This super bright, I can never figure out how to turn it on. There we go. I think this has got a bunch of modes. This old beat up thing still works. This takes a battery. This guy is rechargeable. And then one of these products I really like is this Asher. Both of these come in a set. I think they're like 20 bucks. Super bright. Multiple modes. I think I'm going to go this guy and... oh, that's the one I'm going to use right there. So I can bolt this onto my rack, and this I can take off easily. Just leave this on my handlebar. That way I got a valuable light that isn't a target for theft. I was bringing this up here and I'm like, oh, it'd be my luck that those holes don't line up. It's weird how so many items are standardized, and then things like a Derailer Hanger, holy cow, I think there's like 300 of them on the market. Like it. I think, yeah, so there's my batteries. Oop, there goes my batteries. All right, that's a tail light. Let's go to the front. So this giant light, it's kind of nice in that it actually screws on, tightens on nice. Oh, I can see I'm gonna need some of those things. So as much as I want this super bright light, I don't have one of those adapter pieces. I'll have to grab one. You know, you got those little strips. We got piles of them at work. So I'm gonna be putting on this Asher because I know it's gonna work. Start out with it underneath. I like it. I think we have a Commuter. The first thing I saw when I looked at this is it is not even close to being straight horizontal. I don't know, should I think about a kickstand? That's what I'm thinking right now. Should I get a kickstand? It definitely would make things a little bit easier. You look at it from your point. Oh, that's a lot better. Almost there. I love this Ibera system. There we go. I know it's not exactly horizontal, but it's better than it was. And I don't want to cut these rods because you don't know where it's going to end up in the future. Lunchbox. I think it's time for a test ride.
So to jump in real quick, so the fenders and the bottle cage were a trash find. The rack and the bags were stolen from another one of my bikes, so I'm going to consider those almost zero in cost. They are a little bit older, but definitely functional. The lights were bought, and they are relatively new, and like I mentioned, right around 20 bucks you can get this set of lights. Alright, I did break down and put a kickstand on. Let me know if it's a good idea in the comments below.
So with just a little bit of time and barely spending a dime, I got a full-on commuter. I got racks, fenders, lights, a way to carry my coffee, a way to stay dry, and a way to stay fit going to work. Hope you enjoyed this build. I'm going to have a link to my playlist where I completely rebuilt this 1991 Rincon. I'm also going to have the links to the tools and parts I used. And hey, as always, I want you to keep pedaling.